How do you want to start this, Lucky? I can introduce you. Or
just flow. You just do what you gotta do. I'm just going off of you, man. I'll just go off. I might go off a lot.
And that's how we start. Commodores. I'm sitting here with a familiar face to me, but not necessarily to any of you, except for everyone watching. Do you want me to call your name, or do you want me to call your
however you feel comfortable?
No, you tell me what you're comfortable with. Do you want like the government, or do you want your title?
Keep it for the heads that listen to good music.
Wow, okay, so I'm here with Blacksmith essentially, yeah. Spell that as it should be spelled, which is BLAKH.
Correct,
Smith?
Correct. That's right. You're
Asian.
one of few.
I'm Asian, bro.
You're one of few people that actually know how to pronounce it and actually write it. Well, pronouncing it's easy, but
I feel like it's the same pronunciation.
No, but it's the same pronunciation, but the style is stylized as BLAKH Smith.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a bit of a story where I got that name from as well.
Yeah, go for it, because this is your official name. Like you have, obviously, you got music.
I went by the name of Jackman Beats in college, and then I went.
You say Jackman Beats.
Jatman.
Oh, as in like buff.
Jat. Yeah, Jackman Beats. Obviously, you just go through a phase, and then after I went through, like I got into like a lot of spacey music, like a lot of like ambient. And I got influence from that through so I call myself Astronics, but that didn't really take off. And then I thought, you know what, let me think about it a bit. And like Suck Knight was one of my biggest like inspirations, and still is. Like he's a legend in the game of what he does. And hold tight, Suck Knight, by the way, man. But like Suck Knight, like he's got that English and Asian kind of mix, like Suck and Knight. So I thought I'd have something with my name like Black and then Smith. But there's also also like Beatsmith as well.
Yeah.
So like Beatsmith is someone who makes beats using samples.
Yeah.
But I just do whatever, like musically I just make what feels comfortable with me.
I mean, it makes sense because Blacksmith as well, obviously.
Yeah. So like I feel like I am Blacksmith. Blacksmith is me, kind of thing.
Sick. So we don't need to put a government. It's fine.
But yeah, that's me.
I remember because we went to the same school, obviously.
Yeah,
we went to the same secondary.
Yeah.
And we both took music.
Yeah.
But obviously, I went and did like music.
I didn't do it at Saw Valley. I did it at Gateway.
Oh.
Yeah.
I swear I remember seeing you in music production.
I used to come with Jazz Deep.
Yeah.
Shout out Jazz Deep.
Yeah. But like back then we were using like Cubase. And no one knew what the fuck. Cubase a reason.
What year are you talking about?
This is like 2009, 10.
Yeah. I used to go. Did you go to the after school classes?
Nah, I might have been around after school because of like packing up. But I remember seeing you there, obviously, because we only had like one room. No, like the computers.
I think like I never came from a musical background, but
yeah.
I felt like I've always been exposed to good music at a young age, like without sounding egotistical. But like I don't know, I just like my curiosity just went further with music and like the arts. Like I did a lot of painting and drawing as well on the side.
Oh, I didn't know.
Like not like I did graphics, but like I got an F in it. I think I just didn't do the evaluation, but
traditional school systems don't work.
Yeah,
sorry.
But I've been but stay in school.
Yeah.
School's important,
Stay educated.
Yeah, education, self knowledge is important.
Very true. No, but I remember you back in those days where people were using. I mean, all we had was Reason and Cubase, to be fair. But
I remember like in the mornings in the mobile, I used to like get my Walkman phone and play tunes like on my
Walkman phone.
Yeah.
Oh my, that had a chokehold back then. The Sony, the orange as well, the orange and white.
Yeah.
When it has the black and orange, depending on who you were.
Walkman, Sony Ericsson's.
Damn, I think that company's just gone.
Yeah.
But they still do Walkmans.
They were big. Yeah. I don't know.
They released a new one recently. Yeah, but it's just like a digital phone.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Like I remember, like I went to Punjab in India, and me and my cousin, like we had our Walkmans, and we were just like he was sending me a lot of Devilman. Remember Devilman? Yeah, he was sending me Devilman, and we used to like have that Bluetooth infrared where you put it together.
Oh, you have to line the lasers and shit. That sounds so weird.
We did that, and then like he sent me a mix that his cousin sent him. and it was a Suck Knight Clash Up mix 2007, and that was like like it made me think, okay, this is something really special. Like it made me see music as art rather than just music that you listen to.
Right.
So yeah, but
so was that like your turning point where you were like,
yeah, it
this
was
is the
like
real
it
shit?
was like it was a moment of enlightenment, so to speak.
I think there's a level of I don't remember back in the day when you used to listen to music, like there were a lot of mixes out there, but no one ever really pays attention to who makes the mixes. You're like, hey, this mix
I'm kind of glad that was my turning point, because it's I still listen, like it's still on the Mixcloud as well, like, and it's a really good mix, and like the way it was mixed, it was very well mixed as well, and the Detroit, like because it had that Punjabi kind of sampled Bollywood and everything, it just like, and like dubstep sound, grime, and it was just like everything I grew up like I listen to now. That was the inception of where it came from.
Yeah, to be fair, you've got, I think, how many EPs now is it?
Well, two. I'm working. Well, with this EP stuff, it's not like I want to be the next big thing, but it's like I've just been listening to so much music over the years, and I thought, you know what? Let me like just give back to what I've heard, and like, but I wouldn't consider myself a producer. I'd just say I just like making music. Like,
I'd say you're a musician. You're definitely a musician.
I can't play keys. I can't really.
Bro. Well, I think that depends on like where you put your focus on.
Yeah, but Jazza was saying to me, he said, like, you know, there's producers and then there's beat makers, and I'd say I'm a beat maker more than a producer, because sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. Like, and I think that's the beauty of it as well, just not knowing.
You're focusing more just on like what is good for me,
my soul,
rather than
what feeds my soul.
I get you completely. But like you got two EPs. You've also got like, we have like the vinyls here and everything as well. Yeah. But out of those, like your sound, as you were saying, the astronomics thing is interesting, because I assume you mean like spacey in terms of astronomy, etc.
Well, there's two artists that I always go back to as a point of reference: is Chrome Star, Suck Knight, and
you good?
Yeah.
Chrome Star, Suck Knight.
Yeah, and Chrome Star was like I see Chrome Star as like the Punjabi version of Pharrell. You know, just that spacey.
That's you're talking like Pharrell in his bag, Pharrell. Yeah, like Neptune's era. Pharrell.
Yeah.
God damn, I remember the first time I ever listened to like Neptune's beats, and I was like, oh, this is crazy.
No, like I think that was a generation. That was, we can say that with like our heart, that it was our generation.
Is it? Is Neptune's our generation, or is it like?
Well, it was like early 2000s.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
Like,
yeah,
we I didn't realize a lot of the Neptune's beat, like a lot of music, like I was listening to a lot of like commercial music, like growing up as a kid, and a lot of it happened to have been Neptune's.
Yeah, they had a show called On the Industry.
Yeah. They like Pharrell and Chad Hugo were phenomenal.
It's the same with Rubin though. Like Rick Rubin had like, in terms of rap, had like crazy beats on different artists, and like you didn't realize it was all Rubin until you like ever looked at the actual producer shit.
I think a lot of the good artists are always behind the scenes as well. Like they don't credit them. They don't like to take the credit, and they just like to do what they love and just put it out there and just let the music speak for itself.
I know what you're saying. There are people who are really into the actual music part of it. Tend to just be cool with doing whatever because it makes them feel good. Which is, to be fair, like I was saying, you got two EPs. The sound is obviously, I wouldn't say you can label a sound as effectively when it comes to making your own thing.
That's what I'm trying to go for. Like, I kind of like, I want to try and break boundaries of creativity. Like, I don't say like try and make it regimented, but I think like I try and make music that comes from the soul rather than what I think and feel. Like, well, like what I'd say, what I like to feel, but I like to like, I realize like music doesn't come from me. It comes from like the universe. Like external, like inspiration comes from out there rather than, well, within as well, but out there in terms of like not the ego. Like it's just what we've been exposed to, and like the algorithm of your records.
Right. Like
the algorithm on my records, I listen to it and I realise like these things influence me. So I'd say it reflects on my sound as well. But
I get what you're saying. Yeah. It's you're saying like as much as your intention is there's always an outward force that's helping you make a sound that you feel is good for you.
That's right.
As opposed to like making a sound that's going to make you go, oh, this would be a hit, I guess.
But there's the label's a bootleg label. It's not like an official label, but I don't make any profit off it, and I don't intend to either. I just want to make good art and put it out there. And like the first EP, Kodos EP, like I listened to a lot of The Simpsons growing up as a kid. Like Treehouse of Horror was scary. The Treehouse of Horror, they were scary, but they were really cool. Yeah. And I just thought, you know what? Let me sample Kangan Kodos from The Simpsons. So I did that for one of them. And then I made this one tune, Nimrath, which like kind of like Nimrath was like the real name I was going to call it, but I thought I don't want to sound too like religious, but it's good.
Sure, yeah.
Like I don't want to disrespect like religion.
I was going to say this because like, obviously you come from a South Asian background,
yeah,
and I mean where we grew up kind of has a lot of South Asians, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would say that. As much as our culture can be prevalent, I don't know if I necessarily say that commercially in music we see a lot of it.
Yeah,
it's starting to change.
It's good though. I think like it's good to see like people representing their heritage.
Yeah, but this is my point. Like it was starting. Obviously, like recently we had people like Sidney Muslim, obviously no longer with us, but yeah, we got Steel Bang as a producer. But even back in like we're going years back.
Yeah.
Depending on how you want to see this, like Juggy D had a bit of popularity here, Bali Sagu, etc.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I remember anyone like in school when it was us. Usually people would be separating the, their English Western music from their
I think
Indian
like
music.
genres are mixing and integrating now.
Yeah,
like,
but I was going to say
like
that was something
separate.
that you and Jasdeep as well, shout out Jazzo again.
Yeah, shout out
but like
Jazzo.
that was something you two had always been focused on, because I noticed you both tend to put, even though your music isn't necessarily set to a certain genre or feel, you always manage to integrate something that comes from like whether it's like obviously your history or person, etc.
Yeah, but we used to just have a laugh really. We never used to think like we want to be the next big thing. We just used to laugh. Like I remember like he made a tune called what did he make it, like Mellow Moonlight, and just like Duck Dub Quack Quack, like just because the bass sound like a quack.
Yeah,
like he just called it Quack Quack.
This is what I mean though. It's like you're having.
It's good to have that young, like, because kids are like geniuses. I think like the way they absorb like information and knowledge is just like a sponge, and I try and adopt that mindset when I learn about I don't really learn too much in the technical or theory side, but I like to just I'm more of a consumer than a producer, I'd say, with music nowadays, because I'm getting into crate digging, like record digging for those who don't know. Like I'm really into my records, and I just love that just respecting your generation that you come from, and just paying homage to it.
But like you're starting to move towards, like you were saying, you're moving towards like crate digging and that experience.
Yeah,
and obviously crate digging's been around for like decades. Of
course,
but like now that you're pushing into it and like obviously collecting vinyls, it's also technically about like the care of the vinyl and the music produced.
Yeah, of course.
Like how did you get into pushing yourself toward that experience?
Well, I like the idea of having memorabilia and archives. Like I
physical.
I collect posters from events, like A3 posters. I like to buy artwork. I like to support local artists, like who are not in the commercial realm. I like books. I like a lot of illustration books, like with pictures, and like I like to let the art do the talking rather than like I weren't really that intelligent in terms of reading and writing, but I got a C in English, so I suppose I did.
Same.
It right. I'm happy with that. Yeah. So
see again.
But like with crate digging, I'd say I just love the aesthetic of having the records together, and like I was watching I've been binge watching Vuse VUSE. I don't know how to say it.
Oh yeah, I think that's Views. I also don't know how to say it,
but I've been like get so inspired by like what they do, like Rich Medina, Jay Dilla, J Rock, who's my favorite one on the show, like in that series, and it's just like it inspired me to think like it's something that I'd like to leave as a legacy when I leave this earth.
To your collection of vinyls,
like
the way
it's like a time capsule of my life.
So it's less about collecting the vinyls necessarily. It's more about you like orchestrating
and
the
obviously
story
the love for the music, and it's more of sound. It's not just like I collect a lot of soundtrack stuff. So a lot of
like movie soundtracks.
Like I got The Warriors. What else have I got?
Great film, absolutely sure.
I've got Paid in Full.
Another great film.
Boys in the Hood.
Classic. So that soundtrack bangs. Yeah. Oh my god.
But I want to get what's the next one? Well, I'll just get Stranger Things. That's a good one. Like, I love there's one which is the firework splatter. It's got like firework. Yeah. It's like a firework effect on the vinyl. So I thought that was really
on
cool.
the vinyl itself. Or
like because obviously in Stranger Things season 3 there was a firework scene, and I think they got that influence from there. And just decided to put it on vinyl. That's
it. I love cool vinyls, man. Vinyls. I mean, you yourself, you've made vinyls. We got two in packaging, but like,
I think it was a lathe cut, and I just thought I want to be different. Like I don't want to, like even if I don't get heard or if I don't get anywhere, it's just like it's nice to just leave a little stamp. Like,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, commemorating, like, obviously you've made something.
Yeah.
First of all, and like we are in like a digital era where obviously everything's on your hard drives, etc. But the fact that you've got a physical thing that you can like, just push out there. But so you're moving towards crate digging, and you're like collecting your vinyls, but you're collecting soundscapes you enjoy.
The fun thing about crate digging as well, I'm trying to go above and beyond with that, because I just came back from Japan in May. Yeah, and that was a really good experience, and I managed to get only one Sizzler record from there, but yeah, like I just thought, you know what, like being so influenced by these crate diggers, I thought, you know what, let me have a go and let me do it. And the buzz that you get when you find a record from a store and it's like original pressing, and it's like you've won the lottery, literally.
I'm an uncultured swine. So when you talk about original pressing, of course, that's like you're talking like first cut of the tune ever made, sort of thing,
that's right.
As opposed to like reproductions.
But I think as long as the music's there, like it doesn't matter if it's a repress or. But it's just something about an original pressing that I just love. Like I love that the smell that the cardboard gives of that old time. Like sometimes the record from
you like the history.
Yeah, like I've got one record which it smells like. I know it sounds funny, but I got one Punjabi record from the 80s, and it smells like my granddad's flat.
Okay. No, you know what? This is a mad thing. This is a very big thing. Smells do influence, like, obviously, memory and feelings.
It does,
and stuff.
yeah.
So if it does have that sort of similar scent to it, that could do that. However, what the hell did your granddad's flat smell like before you?
Beer. Well, I don't know. It just had that like old man smell, like. And
great, man. Delicious.
And like I don't know. It was like a sense of comfort for me, like smelling.
Yeah, something you remember.
Because I'm really close to Deji, like hold tight Deji, man. My granddad, my nana. So
hold tight, get on here as well. No, I'm kidding. But no, okay. So you're moving towards crate digging. Obviously, what's the goal for you in terms of
enjoy it first and foremost, because I think if you don't do what you enjoy, there's no point in doing it as well. Like, I'd say that. But I just love I love listening to good music that is like exclusive, like that you can only get on vinyl.
Sure,
so that's kind of what got me into vinyl, because a lot like there's one Sessman tune which is a dubstep artist, and there's one tune called Error, and I heard it when I was 15, and it was very nostalgic to me, and he put it on a vinyl, and it's not on a digital, it's not on a cassette, or it's not on it's not any out there officially,
right?
But it put on his Bandcamp. I thought, you know what, like I need this tune, because it reminds me of my youth, and I hold on to my childhood very dearly, because I had such a good childhood, and you know, like that's it pretty much.
Do you find the element of like listening to music from that you found like almost comfort with when you're younger, or listening to tunes from back in the day?
But is that
like a transformative thing for you? Like,
like
go back and
but like it's like a quick, like it's like a Marty McFly back to the future, like going back.
Hopefully less dangerous, but
but it's like I don't know. It just like I feel like music connects to your memories, like. Yeah. And when you think of an event or a sound, like I went to South Korea with my brother and my cousins and his friends, and my brother was playing a lot of No Worries by Anderson and Paak, and whenever I hear Khadija, it just reminds me of certain memories of that energy back then, like when we were going traveling and just what we got up to, and it was such a good laugh, and I just want to have more of them memories with great people like yourself. And
South Korea, Japan, India, how many places have you traveled to?
Well,
I don't know this.
I'm very fortunate, and it's just I thought, you know what, like you only got one life, like live it right, you know. You know, like, and everything's by the grace of God as well, of course. But
I'm just saying, like, in terms of traveling, like, have you been to a lot of places that, like...
I wouldn't say I've been so many countries, but I've been to a fair few, and hopefully I'd like to add more to it. But I'm trying to focus more on, like, doing other things, like exploring culture and, like...
Sure.
I'd say I'm very cultural as opposed to how I was before, because... during college days, I felt like I was listening to a lot of futuristic, like experimental music, and it was ahead of its time. But I felt like I lost my identity. I was losing my identity in terms of sound. So I was going back to the roots.
Okay.
So I was rediscovering tunes that I heard growing up, and just explored into that realm. So a lot of like Apna Sangeet, Pardesi, Hira, Alap, B21 is a bit later on. Shakti Powered Up, one of my favorite Bhangra albums, came out in 1991. Lustless, one of my favorites.
I've heard like 2 tracks, but it's a bang.
Yeah, But Shakti, like a lot of tunes from when my parents got married. I like it's got that like just sense of belonging. I find
with like older, especially like Indian tunes, one of my favorite. Even with older Indian movies, I think one of my favorite things is you almost see, and I guess back then it was a flaw, but now it's kind of like interesting. Is like the quality isn't the perfect quality. There's always like that weird filter to it, or that weird like thickness to the sound almost. That kind of gives it its history.
It's just got that raw sound because like it was pure instrumentation then in the recording studio, and like, you know, I think now that we live in the age of information, I feel like let's utilize it. Like, let's not like be discouraged from you know, this exposure we got to the, you know, having like discovering different tunes and buying it. Like, I still like the old school like mindset of going to a record shop, or, you know, I'm physically holding the record and buying it. I like that. It reminds me of the 90s hip hop era. So I like to go backwards in times.
No, of course. You're saying like, because before you were like, you didn't think you were intelligent, but you're like more of the pursuit of knowledge in terms of like what benefits. Like how you feel. I would say,
I don't know.
Considering you are somewhat travelled, is there a place that you really want to go to that you haven't yet?
Brazil.
For the music culture?
For the music, for the carnival in February.
Touche.
Like samba and bossa nova. Like, my brother's highly influenced in that. Like, I'm sure you know.
I love bossa nova.
I know you like your bossa nova.
It's the rhythm of Brazilian music is just.
It just makes you feel happy. Like, just like happy music.
How the fuck are you sad when you listen to
it's like literally. So I'm trying to just discover different genres. Like, a lot of old music is the best. Like, I remember saying like there's nothing better than discovering new music. But what one guy said to me, he said there's nothing better than discovering new old music. He said old school is the best school.
That's a bad.
Yeah, so
I think I remember when I was growing up, we had like, my mum was into a lot of reggae, so we'd be listening to a lot of reggae. And there's moments where obviously I try my best to like mix my sounds. I'm very much into like R&B and like chill and soul, but like every now and again you want to venture out. Whenever I hear like a really old reggae tune, I'm like, this shit is like obviously a good one, but like when you hear it, you kind of get thrown back by it. You're like almost shocked by the fact that you haven't heard it.
I just got a shout out Isaac Arawak, who's one of my good friends who I met at the dub sessions, in dub roots reggae sessions, and his events that he holds of Good Vibes Cost Nothing. I've discovered so much great roots reggae, rock steady, ska, and it's just, I'm very grateful to have know someone like Isaac, and you know, he's really like he's really into like crate digging. And I also want to shout out Shakti High Power, Vedic Shakti High Power Records, previously known as Kamikaze Records, which is Gupta and Bav, who really gave me a lot of belief in you know, just believing in what you do. And in terms of the roots reggae sound system, like, you know, I've heard some of their music, which is they're very good at what they do, and they're still preserving that culture and moving it forward as well. So like, I got to shout at them.
I think that's an interesting mix to always try and preserve what came before, but still try and push it. Also, quick side note, Scar got shit on for so long. I love Scar. Don't even try.
What was it? Dawn Pen? No.
That's a bang. Side story, I once worked in a betting shop, and I literally had like 2 customers beefing. I mean, like nearly throwing hands. Right. And these are just some like, one's like an old Jamaican dude, and then one's a dude from like Brixton back in the day. Fighting over whether or not Dawn Penn was like a good enough musician. I'm like, you're out of your mind. That is a classic. Anyway, not the point. But a lot of music in there. But I feel like you also kind of push beyond that. What's some of the other stuff that you're interested in other than just like music? And obviously traveling, culture.
I was really into my football. Like, I was into like a lot of street football.
You're good at football, bro. Yeah,
I was into like, but I feel like I've lost the knack with it. Like, I don't know, I've just been so into the arts. I've kind of put football to one side, but I felt like I got what I wanted out of it, because luckily I was very fortunate to play for GNGFC, which is like a Punjab, like a South, like it's just a community grassroots football. And we had the opportunity in 2010 to play in Leicester City Football Stadium.
Oh shit!
And that was very humbling, you know, like, and it was a very good experience, and I hold on daily to them memories, and I really appreciate what they were trying to do for the youth. You know, just get them into sports, keep exercise, and you know, I'm trying to like get back into like fitness again, like, and just look after my body, because your body's your temple, right?
I'm not gonna lie, I remember playing. Also, I know you're saying your body's a temple. I had to ignore that because it isn't for me. No, I remember playing football with you, and you were like one of the most annoying people to play football with, because usually when you go and play football, you are dealing with competition. You are dealing with people who like want to be. They're your friends. Like at the end of the game, before the game, you're like dapping. But in the game, they're your competition.
You know,
but you are the nicest person. You will score a goal, and even to the opposing team, you'll be like, "No, that was good defending. That was good. Like, that was fair shot. Unlucky you didn't save that." And it's like, leave me alone, man. let me be ashamed of myself.
But you know, I take a lot of inspiration of my like the funness of football, like through Ronald. You know, Jogo Benito, if you remember that.
Yeah.
Like I used to be so obsessed, and like I used to just like have a laugh with football, like.
Yeah.
And like for me, Ronaldinho will always be my favorite footballer. Just like literally, he represents joy in football, and Brazil. Like I feel like football's in Brazil's blood.
Oh, I would agree.
You know, they've got something in them that it's just like it's in their something in their bloodstream that
it's been a while. But I think when we were younger, even then, like I think most people recognize Brazil to be like almost the most passionate. In regards to like how much they kind of live and breathe it.
Definitely.
Obviously, as years have gone on, people.
I think that's why I want to go to Brazil as well. Like, we had some neighbours who we used to go to, and they were Brazilian, and they used to make the most banging barbecues ever, like proper like Brazilian style chicken. And I think there's a little. I think I do incorporate a bit of Brazil culture within my life as well, because the football, the neighbours, and. The music as well. Obviously, like the music is something I'm gravitating towards. But you know, I take a lot of inspiration from my brother Manny, who goes by the name of alias of Dime. Yeah,
like and Dime or
Dime. Yeah,
oh, okay.
And he gets a lot of inspiration from like Kate Renardo is one of his favorites, and like Gold Link, and you know them kind of
very
that
vibey,
kind of sound.
Like up rhythm, always partying almost,
And he makes music on Logic, and I felt like he was a really good producer, and he's put on some tunes out on YouTube. But I'm very like, it's nice to know like we kind of both got that respect and love for music, and for the next generation that follows, I feel like there's a good platform for them to, you know, if they want to get into the arts, then we've got a lot to offer.
Sure.
I think that's why I'm doing the EP as well, not for me, but just for generations to come.
Is that something you could see yourself doing in the future? Like maybe like not teaching, but like giving the opportunity for like youngers to learn
like I feel like what we were given was good, and it's just like I think sound has changed and developed and evolved so much, and it's only going to get more like that in the future. Course, so like it's nice to just respect the generation we're from like 90s kids, 90s babies. So
no, that's fair, man. I mean, you got like a lot of your. I feel like your values are very much steeped in like respecting other cultures and history and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. It's what my parents raised me upon, like just be a respectful person
from what came and stuff like that. Yeah. But when you're focusing on like the future of you, like what do you see? What have you got coming up for yourself that you think you can really be excited about?
Well, I like music will always be the pinpoint of everything, like the pinnacle, like. It's but I'd say I've got one more 7-inch EP, but it's more of like about me and who I am, like my birthplace in Bradford.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm doing a 7-inch of that. I might do a limited 7-inch clear 10 press. So I might just put it out for like just
9 press,
give it to people who are close to me, like friends and family. But it's just I think that will be like it'll be a long time after that since I'll do anything after, because I think when you just get into like consumed with work and stuff, like I want to do different things now. I feel like I like doing something and exploring it and then moving on to different things. But I feel like the arts as well, like I'm getting into like art and painting and drawing. Like I do what I tend to do, I do like if I find something like really cool, I'll do like a watercolor or like a acrylic like painting of it on a canvas or A4 paper, and I'll just laminate it and then sign it, and it's just nice to do. It's just paint, like I don't know, I like being a big kid. I
don't think that's kiddish. I think like arts is one of the,
but I don't draw like I draw like stuff which is I think it's like more mature art, but I feel like there should be no boundaries at the same time with art as well.
Yeah,
so just express yourself, you know.
Art's always a weird one, I feel, because it's like when it comes to the arts in general, there's always been a debate over like how serious people take it.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you're in school, it's the same sort of thing.
And I think because it's a creative industry as well, like the arts, I think it's something that you should be passionate about, not taking seriously, but just have fun with it as well. I think when you lose that fun factor, it starts to become like a chore. In my opinion.
I can see that. Yeah.
So I feel like that's I'll sometimes go through waves of stuff like that. So I sometimes listen back to the music as well and just get re-inspired again. But I try and just get inspired from like anything and everything, really. Like,
but the paintings and stuff like that, is that just something that you use as like?
It's like a
self-expression.
Yeah, self-expression and just like to heal as well. Like,
okay, are you into like other art, or is like are you into viewing art, or is it just?
I've been to. Well, when I went to Japan, I went to. Have you heard of Yayoi Kusama?
I'm gonna repeat. I am an uncultured spy.
Yeah.
So that's a no.
But I went with my cousin Sanchez, aka Chesney. And shout out Sanchez, man.
I love that everyone's got an AKA.
Yeah.
No one wants to be known as it.
But like we went to the actual museum of hers, and it was so trippy, man. Like I love that. It's like I feel like the trippy contemporary art is like what I'm really into.
Okay.
So like Takeshi Murakami as well, who I'm really into. He's like Japanese
writer.
He's an artist. He does art. Takeshi.
That's a graduation.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know why. I was confusing that with Murakami.
Yeah.
I think Murakami. There's also a writer.
Right.
Called Murakami. Possibly. Who writes very like. I'm not gonna lie. Trippy.
Yeah. It could be possibly could be the
same guy. Yeah. That's the worst thing.
Yeah.
But it could just also be that they share names.
Yeah.
Asian
Of course.
cultures, we share a lot of.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, same thing where it's like very like stories that aren't what they seem and otherworldly and tend to be about like self-discovery, but also like the universe and shit. And like I find the same thing with like contemporary art. I love going to like galleries and museums. I cannot draw for shit or paint for shit or nothing, right? But viewing art is like a crazy experience when you see something,
especially when it's good art. No disrespect to art in itself, but you know when you just see something that really stands out, you just got to appreciate it for what it is.
I think it's the same with music. Like I'll listen to music and there's points where like you'll listen to something and you'll be like, this isn't necessarily for me, but that doesn't make it like bad.
Yeah.
But with art it's the same thing. Like this isn't necessarily for me. It's like a painting of a boat. I don't like I'm not seeing anything. But then you'll see like something that's completely different and go, this for some reason hits my shit.
Definitely.
But yeah, so like would you say like the Japanese artists are like your more favorite, or is it just
I'd say so, yeah. It just happens to be them two. But there's one guy from France called Ras Maika who does a lot of Ethiopian styled Rasta art, and I've bought a few canvases from him, and I really admire his work. Also, Reggae Roast tend to do some good posters. Melancholy.
Melancholy is. I only know the word melancholy, which is like sad.
Yeah, Melancholy is an artist who, is that she did some work for Unit for Chrome Star's release in 2013, and I managed to get a personalised record, and she put a nice message saying, you know, to my friend Lakwinda, be kind, for everyone is fighting a harder battle, and then it said for healing purposes only. So
for healing purposes,
you know, I hold on to that art, you know, very dearly. So
that's crazy.
You know,
would you ever put like? I think it depends, because obviously whenever you make things, I know you're saying that you have to make it for yourself and like the feeling that.
Yeah.
Do you ever like compare yourself to other people, whether it
all
comes
the time,
to like, painting or
all
music?
the time, man. It's one of my like flaws, man. Like I overthink and I compare myself a lot, and I don't know. It's just, I think it's common nature as well. I don't intentionally mean to do it, but it just sometimes it happens. You think, you know, am I on the right path? But I think you just got like, if you stay true within, you know, you'll be surprised where you end up. So, you know, just keep pursuing and spark your curiosity, and you'll be
absolutely.
You know, just keep discovering different things and be different. I think, like, you know, embrace your individuality as well.
That's a huge thing, I feel like, that you have to do. I was gonna say more in the sense of like, obviously you're crate digging, you got like vinyl records, and there's obviously you do art, but you also like art in that sense. And often I'm just thinking like, do you find yourself comparing like, say, the way you express yourself in art, painting wise, to like maybe
I don't know, I don't really think like about anything when I make art. I think that's why I love it so much. It's just the idea of not thinking about things. And I
do that 24/7.
Yeah, but I love very colourful, cultural, like very, like, you know, you just look at it, it puts a smile on your face. So it makes me happy. I think that's
the important part, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the point if not? That's still very cool. I did not know that you paint. I've got to see those at some point. Do you put your art just for you? Is it like just like?
Well, I'd haven't put like. It would be nice if it was in a gallery, but I don't think I'm at that level yet. But I'll just do it as just building the archives really from the vaults, stuff like that. Really, I'll just do it for like, you know, just to accumulate and just like when I look back, I date it as well. So it just like it gives that sense of nostalgia. I'm a very nostalgic person as well, and I think sometimes it can be a downfall as well because it can stop you from growing.
Sure, yeah, I guess. But I think for your own recollection, it's important.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Obviously, as we get older, and like, you know, I'm pushing age, bro. But like, as we get older and older, the fact that you've got stuff to look back on.
Yeah, it's nice too, man.
For me, though, it's more impressive that you have stuff to look back on and still make stuff. I feel like that's a through line. But I feel you don't see a lot.
Yeah, I think like I try and be as creative as I can, but as you get older, you just you get stuck in like regimented routine. So I try and break out of that and explore like what I wanted to do as a teenager. And I feel like I like being like adopting that teenage mindset because I feel when I was a teenager, like the music, the art, the ideas, and just what I wanted to like the visions I was having like of what I want to be in my life. Like I feel like it's translated into reality. Like, and I spend a lot of time in my bedroom, but musically I was listening to a lot of Cosmic Bridge, Nebula Music Group, National Records, New World Audio, a lot of stuff like that really. So
and you find yourself having like
that
space now.
Yeah, and I still listen to it now. Like I still support them, and you know I got to shout out all them labels. And like one label I'm really listening to at the minute is a underground Punjabi record called Check One Records. So it's a lot of digital music, but hopefully like it'll be nice to see some vinyl. But it's nice to just support them, and it's really good Punjabi music.
You really like a
Punjabi folk as well. So you know these genres I can't keep up now.
Yeah, it does get a little bit. Well, I mean that's a good thing. I'm not the biggest fan of like labeling stuff, but at the same time, the more when there's like 150 labels for things, it's like okay, so we really are diversifying and we really are doing different things, and that is important.
I like to listen. I'd say forward-thinking music, like and I listen to a lot of Get Darker TV sets, which is like a forward-thinking like underground dubsteps like platform that a lot of the legends and a lot of like underground artists can like portray their music. Yeah,
absolutely, man. I mean, I'd say I'm trying to remember. I do think in school you were like one of the few people who I remember like who actively were listening. But obviously before the hype of dubstep, because there was obviously a huge peak when we were growing up. But even like after, so you're someone who has like stuck with it, and I feel like you actually like
I just stay true to the sound, man. Like
that's what I mean. Like it's not the sense of the fact that it was popular and you were like
I just liked it. Like the way when I first heard it, it blew my mind. And it's sometimes when these art releases come again, it just gives me that feeling again, and it's like a feel good feeling.
That's crazy, man. I'm glad that you get that though. I would say I'm mentioning like galleries and museums. You very much are like somewhere between like a librarian and a curator for this shit. Yeah, you have like the archive.
Well, funnily enough, there's a label called Library Music as well, which it's got 4 releases, but you know on Twitter they put music for your library, and I think that's what I don't see it as like a portfolio of records. I see it as my library, like my library of records. So I just like to pick and just like if I'm in a certain mood, I can go to a certain record and like just meditate on it and just like go back to like finding myself again. So I hold on to my record collection very dearly.
For someone who has such a vast taste in like this stuff,
I like trying to listen to like many genres.
Yeah, no, I mean that's important because you're the type of person to explore things and just see what works.
Yeah, I try to.
But what that's going to lead me on to is we have a section of this where we basically say desert island, right?
Right.
I need you to pick one album. Right. This is, by the way, this is you trapped on a desert island. No one's saving you.
Yeah, on my own.
I mean, they might. Who knows? But
yeah,
they might not. You need one album.
Yeah.
You need one book, which we haven't talked hugely about.
Yeah.
And one movie, which, to be fair, we know you like movie soundtracks, but we haven't really gone into movies themselves. But if you were to have one of those things each, and we can start with the album, because I feel like you have a vast array to pick from.
I think the album would be The Immortals in Search of Pegasus 4, our Nebula Music Group in 2013. Okay. Like, that was ahead of its time when it came out. But I don't feel like it got enough recognition to when it did. But yeah, shout out Chromestar and Jason X, man.
Absolutely. Is there a reason that record, like, other than being ahead of its time, was there something that resonated?
Yeah, it was just like science, like spirituality and hip hop, and it was just experimental music. Like, just I felt it was just a way ahead of its time, and you know, I listen to that sometimes as well. Like, it's just so good. The way they sample like old sci-fi films and incorporate like these mad hip hop basses and like
they got the B movie like quotes.
Yeah, and it's got the crackling as well.
Yeah, the vinyl.
But it's digital as well. It was intentional to have.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I have heard the record. It's a very good record. Very long title. So write it down before you search.
But in terms of books, I'd say like I'd love to release a book like just, but it's just the licensing. I think like I don't want to do anything dishonest, so I just want to make sure I don't have any copyright or
what would your book be
infringement. Just be like just like a visual in illustration of like my life, but like it's just what I've been influenced by.
What would the licensing issues be?
Well, I don't know. That's what I need to find out.
I don't know. It's your shit. It's your shit.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's just like probably like pictures taken from other sources.
Oh, right. The copyright
infringement. Yeah. So I don't. That's what made me a bit apprehensive of doing it. But going back to your topic of book, the only book, I'd say it'd be the Sonar Sound System, which is a children's book of a Rasta art. And it's like a children's book of sound system saving the people from negativity.
I've never heard of this.
It's a really good book.
It's a kid's book about.
Yeah, but it's got really good art, and I love the. It's on the web. It's on the is it label, or would you say a book, like with the book
publishing?
Yeah,
something like that.
The publishing is One Love Books.
Yeah, the publishing company.
Yeah, so check out One Love Books if you're really into finding out what that is. And my favorite movie, the movie I'd be stuck with is The Warriors. You know, luckily when I went to New York, I went to where Cyrus did his speech, and it was so good. It still looked exactly the same, and I love the 80s, man. I wish I was an 80s kid or 70s kid growing up in the 80s.
Oh, in New York? That's a hell of a time to grow up in New York, bro.
Yeah, but the music, like, there was a lot of drug problems back then, and the hip hop music kind of, you know, was a way of escape for a lot of people.
Of course,
so there was a lot of struggle in that time as well. But
also the Warriors is like
classic.
I mean, I guess now it is more popular because after a while people do get to, and especially again with the internet.
Yeah, I think old classics will always be classics. Like, you know, it's good.
But like the Warriors itself is like, it's not the average movie you would have gotten back then, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Usually, like, especially like 80s, 70s, 80s.
I just love the aesthetic of it. It's just really cool.
Yeah, it's fucking great. Costume design in that is great, obviously.
Like, the music's good.
Music is nuts.
The storyline's good.
The feel is really my favorite. I'm a film buff day and day, but the feel of the Warriors has that very like.
Yeah, the baseball Furies are quite scary, aren't they?
But it's such a like. Literally dark film. Yeah, the lighting is intentional. Yeah, but like it's beautifully done, especially for
it's such a classic. Like,
great choice. I think that's the quickest anyone has chosen shit.
Yeah, well, it was premeditated, of course.
I know, but it's still the quickest. Like, people usually struggle with this.
Yeah.
But no, man, those are good choices. I do want to check out that kids book though. Is it literally about? Did you say it was a sonar system?
The Sonar Sound System.
The Sonar Sound System. I'm gonna have to look that up afterwards because I want to read that shit. But no, man, it's been great talking to you. Obviously, do you have shit in the future that you're doing?
Say that again, sorry.
Do you have shit in the future that you're doing that you want to like?
Well, just this 7-inch EP. I don't know when it's going to come out, or like I've got a rough idea. Just I need to sort my DAW out, my digital audio workstation. Yeah. So once I got that sorted, I'm just gonna just revamp a few old tunes, or 2 tunes, and just put it out there, and just probably give it a long time before doing anything. Just probably enjoy life, really, just traveling, crate digging, and just doing what I love to do, which is crate digging is my main thing. So I'm just enjoying the journey, really, and meeting great people along the way like yourselves. Usually I say something like, go check out their new release, but for Blacksmith here, go check out old releases. But wait on that new EP. Before anything, I just want to say thank you to yourself for hosting this
I don't know if you ever said thank you. That's
and big up Comma Sounds, man. These are pushing the sound and just the movement differently, man. Like, got so much respect for them, so big up yourself, guys.
I legally have to agree because I work for them, but no,
it's good, man.
The boys are great. I mean, obviously we'll have a future. You just say I don't work for you. I technically work for you. I work more for Harsh.